Okay. Hello, guys. It's me, Elizabeth Jankovic, the host of this podcast called Virgo Vibes. I'm doing another video podcast, a visual podcast. So if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or another podcast listening platform and you're into the visuals, you can come over to YouTube and see me speak into my microphone. So I'm actually vlogging today, /vlogging at least part of the day, at least the morning, and it is 2:51 p.m. right now. I am dressed in a light gray hoodie. I actually got it from, was it Primark? Yes, I got it from Primark. So if you are subscribed to my YouTube, you can go check out my Primark haul. And I literally look like a bum right now. I do. Because that's just like, guys, you know why I'm just like this? Perfect segue into the theme, the topic of today's podcast. I'm anxious. I'm very anxious. And when I'm anxious, I feel like I just need to hide. And I love hiding in big gray hoodies. So I wrote down what I wanted to talk about. And literally me writing down what I wanted to talk about definitely made me more anxious because I knew I was going to be talking about anxiety. Okay, so let's just get into it. Also, pause. I am really full right now because I just ate a bunch of sushi. Anxiously ate a bunch of sushi. Like, after 1 p.m. I started getting anxious. So, okay, whatever. All right. So anyway, I really don't think I ever had anxiety until like 2020. Particularly like summer 2020 onward. Like in the beginning, I was chilling. Guys, in the beginning of quarantine, I was chilling. Virgos, introverts. Like, thank God we did not need to go out and see people. We didn't need to do things with other people, go to the house, whatever. Everything, I could just have my alone time at home. Like, ooh. Like, I think because I had classes and stuff and a remote internship, I was always like I was expected to be busy in my room doing my classwork and my homework and whatever and Zoom, and like my family gave me my space. And then in the summer, I feel like I didn't have as much space. But like the summer was fun, whatever. Okay, I got anxiety in the summer, and then just related to like, I don't know, not being alone anymore, like living at home back in a house instead of in a dorm where I had my own room and I could do whatever I wanted and I didn't have to check in with people every single day and have people know when I wake up and what I'm doing and that I'm using the bathroom and brrr. So anyway, I started feeling anxious living at home last summer, and then I got the dorm again in the fall, and then boom, I moved back home because I graduated. So I graduated, and it is mid-February, and I was just talking about this in my vlog, but like I was like, fuck, like it's mid-February and I still don't have like a lead on a job. Just like applying here and there sometimes because the day-to-day anxiety, like I'm not actually like able to do my routine stuff anyway. So like the big things that I want to do, I feel like I haven't been able to do because literally I'm just focused on like waking up and working out and like applying acting things and, you know, filming my YouTube content and recording my podcast content and eating healthy, babysitting here and there, whatever. But it's like I literally just don't understand. I don't know. I'm like disappointed in myself that the time flew by and it's already mid-February, but it's also not my fault. Okay. And this is where I blame the fact that I live in a house with 4 other people. Okay. So let's just get into it. Okay. So I keep saying that. I'm so sorry, guys. I feel rusty. I'm anxious. What do you expect from me? I just can't do this podcast normally right now. So I'm a very private person. I'm just going to start reading my notes. We're just going to go with it. I'm a very private person, which, you know, may seem kind of like oxymoron. You literally have a YouTube channel. You do modeling, acting, whatever. You're on screen a lot. You have platforms, right? But like with my thoughts and my routines and my mindset and whatever, like I just need to be alone. I knew I could not have a roommate because like I do my things in a particular way I just started. I do my routines in a very particular way. And hashtag Virgo Vibes. I like things the way I like them. And I don't like when my plans get changed, And when you live in a household with other people, it kind of is based off of the vibes of other people around you. Like me recording a mukbang, I can't do that in my kitchen unless the house is like empty, right? So I'm always going to do it up here. Mukbang / eat with me, whatever you want to call it. I literally couldn't even do it right now because I'm so anxious. This podcast, actually, like, I kind of just wing it. I'm like, okay, I hope nobody's like in the house right now. And I don't want to do it super, super late at night because like I like to project, I am a theater minor. I am an actress. I like to project. So I can't really do it in like the dead of night. People are gonna be like, bitch, shut the fuck up. So anyway, I have my things, right? And I like to think through like my routines, whatever, like and my brain, the way I think, I'm constantly thinking. My brain is constantly running, constantly going. Thoughts are constantly happening. And if I get a text, a phone call, if somebody speaks to me, if I hear a noise, like literally, like if someone tries to hold a conversation with me and I'm thinking about something, I'm sorry, I cannot pay attention to you if I need to sort out my thoughts. But then if I pause my thoughts and I focus on you and we try to have a conversation, during the conversation, I'm probably going to be anxious thinking about the thoughts that I put on pause. And then I'm going to be even more anxious after the conversation because I'm like, oh shit, that conversation probably triggered even more thoughts that are going to pile onto the thoughts that are already piled up and backed up here. So do I have ADHD? I think so. I think I do. I'm going to move the microphone a little bit. Oh gosh, I hate making the noise. Okay. So my thoughts are just constantly running, and the best way for me to process my thoughts is when I'm alone, zero people, zero distractions, zero anything like that. So if I'm not alone, aka the past 8 weeks, then I'm just constantly anxious, constantly shaking. That's why I like going on drives. That's why I like when I'm like, I can disconnect from my phone. My last podcast was literally about disconnecting from people and social media and whatever, and trying to like breathe a little bit, but breathing from like my, I don't even know, breathing from my social media messages and whatever is one thing, because then it's like, okay, now if I'm trying to process and I'm not on my phone or computer or whatever, people in my household maybe trying to like interfere with that. So then it's just like, God, I feel like there's no escape. I feel like I'm never alone. And that's what it comes down to. Leave Virgos the fuck alone. At least this girl, at least this Virgo. So yeah, I like need to be left alone because also like even somebody walking near me, like and I'm on my phone, I will lock the screen. I will turn it face down. I will swipe the app away because like I just can't. Photos, messages, like anything, like it's not even necessarily like, oh, sus. It's like, I just don't want you asking me questions. I don't want questions I don't like having to explain myself and explain my thinking or my process, like my to-do list. All right, I have a to-do list every single day. I do not let people see my to-do list, right? It's not like I'm doing sketchy shit in a day. It's just like, bro, don't look at my to-do list. Like, it's very personal, it's very private. Like even this, having my notepad out right now, it's like I'm actually going to talk about all of these things, but I'm still like, oh, I don't want you guys to see my notes, even though the notes are literally for this podcast. So I just don't like when people look at my fucking phone, my notes, my messages, my photos. Like, I just don't like it. Like, I will always be hiding my little things and being private. Not because I have something to hide, but because I just don't want you getting in any of my business. Like, I just don't want these questions popping up. So, yeah, what did I write down? I lock my door a lot. That's what I wrote down. I lock my door a lot. I don't like when people see what I'm doing. I just don't like it. Like, if it's YouTube, yes, I'm choosing. I want people to see it, and I get to edit it, and I record it, whatever. But it's like, if just my day to day, like, I don't want you to question me, and that's what it comes down to. People questioning me. People, I feel like, judging me, right? I lock my door. I don't like, because I feel very judged. That's what I wrote down in my notes. Because I feel very judged. Example, my to-do list. People will ask why I do certain things, like, oh, like, I don't want them being like, oh, what are you doing? I'm recording, like, a voiceover. Oh, what is it for? Like, bro, like, I just, like, the energy of having to explain to you is going to push my timeline of me doing my routine back even further. Okay. And it's just like, stop judging me. Okay. And just everybody's judging me. Okay. Clearly this is what it comes down to. Just my whole life, I feel like people are just judging me. Like with their eyes, with their thoughts, with everything. Like, do you guys feel that way if you want to keep something private? Like, am I crazy? Or is it like, no, like these people who I'm just like, why are people like not wanting to be questioned, right? Do other people like being private because they don't want to be questioned? They don't necessarily have things to hide. They just don't like being questioned. Because that's my main thing here. That's what I'm coming down to. Okay, but based off of all of that, right? Logically, therefore, it is easier to be alone because like no questions asked. Like when I'm alone, no questions asked. In the city, I could do whatever I want. When I had my dorm, like I could wake up, I could leave my dorm whenever I want. I can come back whenever, right? Like legit. You just get up and go. And that's what I love about the city. Everything is so at your hand. I mean, obviously during the pandemic, things are like paused, right? Like things aren't open at like 3 a.m. anymore. But if you needed to go to like a deli at 3 a.m. or CVS at 3 a.m., like you usually can. And that's just like really odd behavior in the suburbs. So, yeah, as I said, currently I'm not alone because I live in a household with other habitants. And so I'm only alone when I'm living alone, which was a period of time at my dorm. I'm about to burp. Gosh, the sushi burp is coming up. I'm just going to review this first page. Yes. Okay, cool. So yeah, my thoughts are just always running. And in order to process my thoughts, the best way to do that is to be alone. And as I said before, if somebody interrupts me on the phone or like a message, like I tend to want to respond to things right away. So unless I put everything on silent or do not disturb, I will likely respond to it or like feel at least the urge to, which then interrupts my thoughts, and people IRL will interrupt my thoughts too. And it's just like, if I do not get to process these thoughts, I will bug out. So, and like, again, like I just feel like I'm so particular in the way I do things, as I've said so many times. And for me, it's like, if I feel like if I feel like I can't do something without you asking a question on why I'm doing it or what I'm doing, which then leads into, well, why are you doing it? Like, who's like, what are you doing? This, why? Or like, oh, I'm doing this so that this, but why? Like, whatever. It's like, bro, just stop asking questions. I'm perfect, right? I'm a perfectionist. So clearly it's working out. So stop like questioning what I'm doing, because like I'm just doing my things and it always works out. I don't know. It's just like, yeah, like this is my next note here. Been feeling very fed up recently with family / even like not family, like in the sense of like, oh, particularities. It's just like living with another person, right? So it's not like, oh, beef. It's like the presence of other people. I just can't. And I don't know if this is anxiety like related to pandemic, related to routines changing around and not having complete control over my life, like getting close to graduation and then graduating. Like, I don't know if it's related to those actual events or if it's just like, it just happened, right? Because like that's what they say about allergies. You could not be allergic to peanuts and then you're 40 years old and suddenly you're allergic to peanuts, right? And nothing necessarily triggered it. It just like happened. So it's like, did my anxiety just like happen, or is this related to all of these big changes in my life? So yeah, I've been very fed up with just not being able to live alone and do anything whenever I want. Like having to answer to people. Whoa, my God, that's a big thing. For especially for jobs. Like I don't want a job where I have to kind of answer to somebody. Like acting, yes, obviously there's a director. Like there's a director, there's a whole team, but it's a team. That's the thing. You're like, y'all are working together and it's a very safe space. I don't know, the arts, I just feel like everybody's so accepting in the arts, you know? YouTube, I can do whatever I want. I can make my own things. If I have to answer to somebody or like report to somebody, that's what I don't like, because now you're starting to control me and I'm in charge of controlling me. Like I'm the controller here, if you didn't realize. So yeah, that's just how I feel. It's like if you're gonna be like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, why don't you do this? Oh, you should do this. That's the worst word to use with me. You should. How about, oh, I suggest looking into this. Even that's kind of annoying actually. But like, oh, like if you're interested. Boom, problem solved. Just don't tell me what to do, because I don't tell you what to do ever. Do I? I'm not very judgmental out loud. I judge in my head. And then I express it positively by politely giving suggestions, right? So, right, people, friends, whatever, any kind of distraction right now, that because I'm not on my own, I have to like, I don't know, I just feel like I have to answer to people, and it's very frustrating. And so I feel like I can't breathe. That's what I wrote down here. It all feels like I can't breathe. And because I'm constantly thinking and I need to process in silence or in my own head, even conversations or sounds are a distraction. So that's when I'm like, bro, do I have ADHD? If sounds are probably. I've always thought, literally for all of college, I've thought I had it. And I don't know if I thought I had it in high school, maybe, but I didn't really say it a lot because people would be like, bitch, you're so smart. You clearly don't have ADHD. But that's like saying, you're such a positive person. You're not depressed. You don't have depression. It's like, you can express and show one side, and then the actual facts and chemical imbalances are another. So, God. Anyway, oh yes, introvert. I am an introvert. Sometimes I'm like, oh, but am I an extrovert? No, because I lose energy when I'm with people. It doesn't matter if I love you. It doesn't matter if you're my best friend and I love you. If you're my family, if I want to see you, I will still get drained from the social interaction. And I need to like recharge. So if I have a little social event, I need to recharge. I need like a day to recharge, and then I need at least like 3 days to get into my own little routine again before I can and then I need at least half a day to mentally prep for the new thing. So it's like, let's say it's Sunday and I have a social thing. Monday, I'm recovering. I'm low-key recovering and getting, quote unquote, getting back to my routine. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is like me getting on my routine again. But that's only 3 days out of a week, which is 7 days. So to me, that's not a lot of productivity. That's not as good as it could be. This is like what my brain is telling me. Like, oh, it's not good enough. And then it's like, if it's Thursday, I just burped a little bit. If then it's like Thursday, okay, and then Friday is like, okay, I'm finishing my productivity over the week, or I'm wrapping things up, and maybe I'm planning for the following week, as well as if like that, let's say that Saturday or Sunday, right, I have like a social interaction. Now I'm like preparing. I need like the prepare day before, I need the like recover day after, and then in between is like the recharging. But then even the planning the social stuff in between would happen during my week of productivity, and then that's just like stressing me out even more. So literally, like, I lose energy from people, and doing social things like every week, like, I literally can't. Every 2 weeks is doable. Just like this podcast, twice a month is doable. Nah, but like every 2 weeks, yes, I can socialize. I think sometimes I'm like, bro, I need a month. Bro, I need a year. Talk to me next year. Like, I swear to God. So, yeah, I just like lose energy, and like, that's how I know that no matter how like fun and friendly I can be, #sad rising, I'm still an introvert at heart. #Virgo sun. Oh yeah, I wrote down, I need to recharge, be productive, and accomplish goals before moving on to more socialization. It's true. I do. I need to. And like, because sometimes I see people like have a normal, like, okay, they can work during the week. Maybe they like work remotely, and then at night they like make plans at night and hang out. And then like even on the weekend, and it's like, sis, when do you do things for yourself? I don't know. Like, it stresses me out. Seeing other people do a bunch of things stresses me out. So yeah, that's all the anxiety I've been feeling. And it's like, I don't even know what to do. To me, it's like, well, the solution is to move out. But it's like, I then moving, the process of getting an apartment and moving would feel like, I feel like I can't do something like that until I have a solid foundation, So at first I was like, damn, like, I don't even have a job yet. I don't even have like an apartment. But then I'm like, bitch, if I thought about starting a new job right now or moving, it would cause me even more anxiety because I feel like my foundation is not set yet. Like, I think I'm getting better. Like, I think maybe I'm like let's say from when I graduated, from when I finished school and moved out to now, I feel like I've built up like 40% of a foundation. 40. That's not a lot. That's less than half. So like, then I'm like, all right, well, if I still haven't gotten to a good place with myself, right, which is clearly taking longer than expected because of all of this newfound anxiety of living back home after you graduate college, I'm like, okay, well, if I still don't have a good foundation with myself yet, then it makes sense that my timeline for these things is more pushed back. And also, it's not really pushed back because I graduated early. So boom, mic drop, I actually am still perfect. What's the other thing that I wrote down? Yeah, just like, I spoke about it. Like, I needed to give myself more credit. I feel like I need to give myself more credit for the things I have accomplished, because I have been sticking to my YouTube channels and posting. I have made applied to things, made my YouTube a little neater, cleaned up some things. Cleaning up things is important, actually. I deleted shitty, low quality, crappy videos, or I privated them, and I've actually been doing that with this podcast too. There's some that I'm like, why did you think this would be a good podcast idea? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So I took those down, and like cleaning virtually, like your photos, your email, going through your emails, God, and your room, like physical stuff, like digitally and virtually and physically, spring cleaning is very important. So I have made progress. I literally, guys, I adopted hamsters. I don't think I told anybody yet, like on the channel. I adopted hamsters. Like, taking care of those have been like a daily thing, and maybe I can do a little video introducing them to everybody. Maybe I'll do that today, because I am vlogging today, so I'll try to do that. But like, I don't know, I feel like I need to give myself more credit, and everybody tells me that too. So yeah, that's just how I've been feeling. I need to give myself more credit. So then, I always try to like turn it around toward the end of my podcast and be like, this is what you can take away. So remember, stick to your routines, okay? Don't let people push boundaries with you, because that's what I've been feeling lately. I've been feeling like I am letting my boundaries and my lines be crossed over. And then at the end of the day, it's like, bitch, I knew I was right. I knew this fucked me up. But it's like, damn, I should have treated myself with respect. Because sometimes I'm like, I'm a people pleaser, so I don't want people to get mad at me. So if they want to hang out with me or see me, I'm like, okay, then I must do this, even though the greater good of all concerned is not actually going to be happy if like I'm still anxious and like I haven't built that solid foundation, like, oh God, I just hit a few things. So do things for you, honey bun. Do things for you. Self-care, getting enough sleep, eating good, right? Making sure you're feeling good, dressing cute, taking care of yourself, and then writing down things that you want to get done in a day and getting them done. Don't let people distract you. Set up a good structure for yourself. How? I will hopefully in my next podcast have more tips on that, because clearly I need to do that for myself, right? Like how to create a structure for yourself when you're living at home, right? Hopefully I have more tips in one of my next episodes on that. But really, like, I'm telling this to my podcast as a reminder to myself that I need to do things for me more. Like, I feel like I don't do enough for me. I feel like a lot of things I've done literally my whole life is for other people. Sometimes, what do I write down? Trust myself, do things for me, underlined me. Sometimes feels like I'm making choices for the benefit of others. Like, what? No, you can't even benefit other people if you're not okay yourself. At least I can't. I can't pretend to be happy if I'm like fucked up mentally. Like, it's really difficult for me to do that. And I feel like the people who don't respect your choices of like, hey, I actually can't do this today, or I can't talk to you right now because I need to do that. The people who take that personally are being manipulative and rude and inconsiderate. Like, if you respect I always respect other people's time. I don't judge other people. So if I need to breathe and if I'm flexible with other people, I need other people to be flexible with me. Okay? Like, let me make my own choices, because as soon as I'm like, oh wow, I'm going to exercise, like I'm going to exercise, like, what is it called? Like, exert. Like, I'm going to stand up for myself and try to make a choice for myself. As soon as I do that, sometimes it's met with like backlash, and I'm like, what? I literally am trying to do one thing for myself. Like, what? And now you're like mad at me. Like, check yourself. Oh, so, gosh, guys, deep breath in, out. Literally, when I'm anxious, I just need to take a few deep breaths. Now we did it together, and now we're feeling good. This podcast is therapy for me, I swear. So yeah, I just need to do more things for me and realize other people, if they have a problem with it, that's their problem, not mine to deal with. Mic drop, boom. And also give yourself enough credit for the things you have accomplished during a pandemic and getting up every day, eating food, dressing yourself. It's the little things. But there are things that I have accomplished so far, and I'm just like, oh, like, I haven't done anything. I forget. I should write like a done list. Like, some people have to-do lists and some people have done lists. Like, I should write down the big things I've done, because I swear, as soon as one thing's done, I'm like, what's the next thing I can do? And I forget that it was important too. So yeah, doing things for other people, giving myself enough credit, doing things for me. Yeah, I just feel like people are not respecting my boundaries. Like, there are a lot of posts these days on Instagram, at least on my feed and stories, that are like, if someone doesn't respect your boundaries, or like, get better at saying no and setting up your boundaries. And I have tried setting up boundaries, and I feel like they still get walked over. And it's like, either this person needs to learn, or we don't talk to them anymore. Sorry, my stomach is making noises because I just ate sushi. Yeah, I think that is pretty much everything. And I recommend to you guys, right? Like, just listen to this podcast, and if you agree with it, right? This is your little sign that it's okay. If you feel the things I'm feeling, it's like, wow, shit, she feels that way too. So guess what? This is normal, and it's okay, and it's valid, right? I was doing a meditation, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, and it's basically like, oh, if you are anxious, it's okay to be anxious. You have to accept yourself as being anxious right now. Like, don't get mad at yourself for being anxious. Because I was like, do I get mad at myself for being anxious too? And I was like, I guess I do. Like, there's like, oh, I'm anxious, I shouldn't be, or like, why? And then it's like trying to place blame somewhere. And then sometimes I'm like, bitch, why are you anxious today? You have a bunch of things you need to do today. And it's like, I was like, shit, so do I judge myself sometimes? So don't judge yourself, take care of yourself, set boundaries, and try to clearly, explicitly communicate with people not why actually, that you have boundaries. And if they question them, maybe I guess you have to explain why. But I feel like you should not have to explain. I feel like having to explain yourself is someone trying to find a reason to tell you you're wrong. And if they're your boundaries, it's not wrong, right? Like, boundaries are boundaries. Boundaries are boundaries. Don't judge me for my boundaries, all right? Don't judge me and my fellow Virgo queens, or whatever your sun sign is, and other signs, for our boundaries. Because you're just an asshole if you're not accepting and respecting the boundaries. Anyway, take care of yourself. Put yourself first, because you can't be there for other people. And if you also feel like you're making choices for other people, you and I both, sweetie, we got to work on our boundary setting and staying strong and realizing we can't people please all the time, because if you only people please and you're not pleasing yourself, then you can't even people please, because you're going to be crabby toward them. At least I am. I get very upset with other people if I'm not okay with myself. So what did we learn today? Elizabeth needs to set a good foundation for herself and realize that she has come, and not a long way, she's come away and made some progress, and that's great. And we should celebrate those little achievements while continuing to move forward, and you guys should too. And hopefully in my next podcast I have fun routine tips and tricks and boundary setting tips and tricks. If y'all have recommendations, let me know. But like, yeah, have you guys also randomly been like, do I have anxiety now? And it's kind of like trippy. It's like, no, not me. Like, I don't want to have to deal with this. I've never had to deal with this before. But it's like, is it because of the caffeine? Is it because we haven't eaten? Is it because we're not putting ourselves first and taking care of ourselves? So deep breaths, meditation, yoga. Okay. Those are my current tips right now. And what have you guys been up to? I graduated, so don't ask me what I've been up to, because I will just probably give you this podcast and tell you what's been up. Like, I'm just gonna be like, watch my YouTube videos, listen to my podcast. I probably updated those people on how I've been doing since I graduated. So if you don't listen or subscribe, then I'm annoyed. Boom. So thank you guys so much for listening. I don't know if this was coherent or not, but I definitely got some thoughts that I needed to get out. And subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Elizabeth Jankovic. It's linked below every podcast. Favorite this podcast if you're listening on anything that you can favorite. Rate it if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, or if you're on Spotify, go over to Apple Podcasts and give me a rating, please. And if you're on Spotify, follow me. What else do I have to say? Like, I ordered a camera for my vlogging channel. I ordered a camera for my YouTube channel, and it comes today. So like, that's a big progress. I ordered this microphone. Like, what? I've been doing things. Oh yeah, I was cleaning up. I privated old podcasts that I didn't like, so you guys will notice that. I want to start consistently posting on like all of my channels, and I made myself a little posting schedule. I also have to, after this, record some self-tapes, and because my microphone's already out, boom, I can just record podcast my voiceover auditions easily. It's like 2 birds, 1 stone, my podcast and then my auditions. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up now because it is my goal to keep these under 30 minutes, between 20 and 30 minutes every week, every whatever few weeks. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Can't wait to talk to you guys in my next podcast or see you guys in my next video. I love you so much. Send good vibes. I'm sending them to you, and the more we send to each other, the more there is, and we just are generating this amazing love, and we're going to work through this anxiety together, and we're going to build on our projects and our dreams and our aspirations, and we're going to accomplish them all within divine timing. Okay, love you. Peace out, Girl Scout.